Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. We have another anime line of the day for you, and this time around we are going to revisit a anime series that we have covered before, and that is the anime Osomatsu-san. The line that we are covering with this show today is going to be from episode 3.5, and the line itself is going to be the line, "Even when dealing with grade schoolers, I get nervous if they're girls." So with that, let's take a listen to the actual Japanese in the episode. 小学生が相手でも女子というだけで緊張。新品のカラマツ。Alrighty, so we have our line now. Let's take a look at it, break it down, and make a sense of all the vocabulary and grammar and whatnot. So first up in this line, we have the word Shougakusei, and this is a very simple word. It's just going to translate to an elementary school student or a grade school student or a primary school student, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from, however they call it. Shougakusei, this is going to be a combination of the word small and gakusei, which is student, so small student basically. Right after the word Shougakusei, we have the particle ga, and this is kind of marking Shougakusei as the subject here. Right after that, we have the word aite. Aite is a pretty strange word to grasp if you're new to the Japanese language. Although it means partner or companion or something, it is commonly used in a number of contexts in which you wouldn't literally translate to partner when you translate to English. But the common implication here is just that it's the other end, the other party in a conversation. Aite will be the person you're talking to. In business dealings or something, it'll be the person you're working with, stuff like that. So it's basically just the other party. So aite here is going to translate to partner, but it's not going to mean like a romantic partner or anything. It's going to implicitly mean something along the lines of when I'm dealing with grade schoolers, they're my conversational partner or the person I'm interacting with. Right after aite, we have the phrasing demo, and so the phrasing demo is pretty common. Usually it means but that's not the case here. In this case, it's going to mean something along the lines of even if. So Shougakusei ga aite demo is going to mean even if my partner or the person I'm dealing with is a grade schooler, or even when I'm dealing with a grade schooler. Moving on, we have the word joshi, which is going to translate to basically girl. And right after joshi, we have the phrasing toiu, and this is actually something that we actually haven't covered in depth in this channel before, but it is a very important aspect of the Japanese language. For now, the translation that we'll kind of give it is oh wow, this is hard to translate literally. It'll be something along the lines of so to speak, or if you were to say. So joshi toiu is going to mean if it is the case that it's a girl, or if it's a girl, or if you say it's a girl, or something along those lines. It's really hard to explain. But yeah, for now, all you really need to know is that it's a phrasing that kind of just reaffirms the word or the clause before it. So joshi toiu is going to mean, well, if they're girls, and there's kind of an emphasis to that. Yeah. Moving on, we have another peculiar phrasing, and that's just going to be dake de, and this dake is going to usually translate to only or just, and in this case, it's pretty much going to translate to the latter of those two, just. So basically he's saying, if you were to say it's a girl just by that, then dot dot dot, and then we find out what the dot 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 is when we finish the sentence and look at the last word, which is kinchou, which just translates to basically nervousness or tension. So basically he's saying is if you were to say they were girls, then just by that I would get nervous. However, that is pretty darn wordy, so now let's just bring back the whole sentence and kind of wrap it all together. So, 小学生が相手でも女子というだけで緊張。小学生が相手でも女子というだけで緊張。新品のカラマツ。And in English, this is going to translate to, even when dealing with grade schoolers, I get nervous if they're girls. So notice here that our translation here is pretty naturalized. We aren't taking literal translations of those unique Japanese phrases such as toiu and dake de. If we had done that, it probably would have been something along the lengthy lines of, even when the person I'm dealing with is a grade schooler, if you were to say that they were a girl, then just by that I would get nervous, which is a really darn mouthful. So when we translate that, we take out that if you were to say and the just by that, because it's kind of repetitive, because we already said even when dealing with. So our final product is just simply, even when dealing with grade schoolers, I get nervous if they're girls. And it's pretty funny because that's what we're kind of considering a kind of shortened translation of it, but when we looked at the actual text written out, the Japanese wording is still much more brief than the English wording, which is weird, but yeah. So that's gonna be the whole sentence right there, the whole line. Hopefully everything makes sense. Well, not everything. There were some stuff that we kind of skimmed over because they didn't really need to take focus. But hopefully, for the most part, you made sense of everything. This is gonna wrap it up for our anime line of the day. Even when I'm dealing with grade schoolers, I get nervous if they're girls. From the 3.5th episode of Osomatsu-san. And yeah, stay tuned for the next anime line of the day.